The night came slowly to Saluma, slower than it should have. As if the darkness itself was hesitant to arrive, Beza lay awake in the small room the villagers had given her. The necklace rested against her chest. Cold, heavy, familiar in a way she could not explain. She had tried to sleep, but every time she closed her eyes, she saw the carved names, Tona, and the symbol that matched her mother's necklace. The wind moved through the trees outside, soft, gentle, almost like breathing. And then she heard it, a voice. Distant, sorrowful, ancient, Saba. Beza sat up slowly. Her heart began to pound. The voice came again, closer this time, carried on the wind like a forgotten prayer. Saba. She did not know the name. She had never heard it before. And yet something deep inside her chest ached at the sound of it. She rose from the bed and moved toward the window. Outside, beneath the silver moonlight, she saw a figure standing at the edge of the village. A silhouette made of shadow and mist, waiting. Beza's breath caught. She should have stayed inside. She should have called for help. Instead, she walked toward the door. The village was silent as she moved through the pathways. The roots beneath her feet pulsed faintly with golden light, as if the ground itself knew she was awake. She followed the silhouette into the forest. Dikdik Forest felt different at night. The trees seemed taller, the shadows deeper, the air thick with something that was not quite fog. Beza walked without thinking. Her feet knew where to go. Her body moved as if guided by memory. And then the visions began. They came in fragments. Flashes of light and feeling that struck her mind like lightning, moonlight through ancient branches. Two hands intertwined, laughter echoing through a forgotten clearing, a necklace, whole, complete, resting against warm skin. Golden eyes looking down at her with infinite tenderness. Beza stumbled, her hand pressed against a tree to steady herself. The visions were not hers. They could not be hers. And yet they felt more real than any memory she had ever known. She did not realize she was crying until she tasted salt on her lips. Behind her, hidden among the shadows, Mitaku followed. He had heard her leave, had seen her walk toward the forest, had known, without understanding why, that he could not let her go alone. Now, as he moved through the darkness, the visions began touching him too. The same moonlight, the same hands, but from another perspective. He saw a woman standing beneath a great tree. Her face was hidden, but her presence felt like home. He saw himself reaching for her, his hands covered in earth and blood. He saw fire burning in the distance, and felt a choice he did not remember making. Mitaku pressed his palm against his chest. His heart was racing. His golden eyes burned with light he could not control. Ahead, Beza had stopped walking. She stood before the abandoned village, the ruins where she had found the necklace. The candles left by the villagers had gone out. The flowers had wilted. The silence was absolute, and yet something was different. The air hummed with energy. The roots beneath the earth glowed brighter than before. Beza stepped forward. Her feet moved without her permission, her eyes fixed on the collapsed doorway where she had found the broken necklace. And then the memory came. Not a fragment this time, something deeper, something whole. She saw herself standing in the same place, long ago, before the ruins were ruins, before the silence had fallen. She saw a man kneeling before her, his hands holding hers. His golden eyes filled with love and sorrow. She heard his voice, broken, desperate. "I will come back to you. In this life or the next, I will find you again." And she heard her own voice answering, a voice that was hers and was not hers. "Then I will wait, for as long as it takes." The memory shattered. Beza gasped and fell to her knees, without understanding, without thinking, without control. She whispered a name she had never learned. Saba. Behind her, Mitaku froze. His golden eyes went wide. His body stopped moving entirely, because that name had not been spoken in Saluma for generations. That name had been erased from the village history. That name was forbidden, and yet Beza had said it as if it belonged to her. Back inside the main village, the elders felt the change. They woke suddenly. Their eyes opened at the same moment. Their hearts filled with the same cold fear. One of them, the oldest, placed her weathered hand against the roots that grew through her home. The roots were glowing, pulsing, alive in a way they had not been for centuries. "It is happening again," she whispered. The other elders gathered around her, their faces pale, their hands trembling. The cycle is returning. The memories are waking. We cannot stop it. The oldest elder closed her eyes. Toner is waking, and so is she. In the forest, Beza remained kneeling in the ruins. The golden light beneath the earth grew stronger, spreading outward like veins through a body. Midaku stepped toward her slowly, his own body trembling, his own memories still burning inside his mind. Beza. She looked up at him, and for one brief moment her face was not her own. She saw herself standing beneath the great tree long ago, wearing different clothes, carrying a different name. The roots around her erupted with light. The forest seemed to exhale. And somewhere deep within the earth, beneath the ancient tree called Tona, something that had been sleeping for centuries opened its eyes.